What you doing?
Oh, just doing a little bit of reading and eating on a sweet treat. M&M's.
M&M's. Why M&M's?
M&M's because I like them for one reason, and because that's the perfect thing to lead us into our discussion for today. The M&M's of anger. Welcome to Uniquely One.
I just wanna be closer to
Welcome back to Uniquely One. We're going to talk today about the M&M's of anger, specifically misdirected anger or anger that is placed in the wrong place, displaced anger, and anger that is caused because of a misunderstanding. And we know that anger is a natural emotion, but if it's not managed in the proper way, it can cause more trouble and harm. So we want to make sure that we understand the reasons for the anger, what is the source, so that the anger can be managed in a way that it needs to be managed.
Because of the pandemic, the situations that families have found themselves in, where they was confined, where they was limited to movement, and even now we see that since the lockdown in a lot of cities and a lot of states, that there was many issues that came from that. Some have went back to work and some have not had jobs to go back to, and in things that you can't control. It's just schools may open in some areas, schools are doing online school in other areas. So it's a readjustment to everyone's life in order to handle your daily tasks, your daily business, and to produce and to get life back to what we would call a normal cycle of life. And it seems as though, from talking to others, from reading and to looking at news and different things, that there seems to be a uptick in disturbance between couples, couples fighting and divorces and separation. It's just, but a lot of it is because of frustration and anger, misguided towards the one that they should be coming closer to in order to combat what's going on in their lives. It is being misdirected at the one that is trying to help get life back on track.
So many times when anger arises, the anger may be misdirected or displaced onto the one that you love or the one that you're closest to. And in many cases, people are spending more time together and they're not used to that. So because the anger, because of the real source of the anger is not addressed, but it's directed at the person that's closest to them. And so sometimes you got to think about, what the real source is and why am I angry? Why am I having this feeling? Or, anger sometimes can be a positive motivator to make something better because, it disturbs you enough that you want to do better and be better.
Yeah, and a lot of time anger is frustration, and frustration can come out and be and look as though it's anger towards someone, but in all actuality, it's frustration. And frustration at a situation will, if not guided, if not controlled, will seem as though you are directing all your anger at a person. And that person is not the cause of what's going on. It is the elements that we cannot control that has ignited the conflict in the household. So what we need to do is to take a deep breath. We need to think about what is going on and we need to consider other people and how they may feel and how they may perceive what we are trying to say, because we're trying to work together. I know couples that you are uniquely one, you are together, and you want to establish your relationship and use these trying times to help create building blocks that you can build on later, and understand that you together can come through trials, through tribulations, through trouble. And a lot of times we say trouble don't last always, and weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And then we quote that the darkest hour is just before day. All that is true, but we have to place it in the right order. We have to get control of it. We have to understand that it has nothing to do with our partner, with our mate, with our loved one, with our spouse. It has nothing to do with them. The majority of the time, it is controlled by outside forces.
And let me give you an example of that. Let's just say mostly everybody, like that work, you have a bad day at work and maybe you get upset with your boss and you really can't say or don't say what you want to say to that person, but you hold that anger, and when you get home, because you feel safe, that person next to you feels safer, that you can express, like how you feel, to take your anger out on that person. Or maybe you get upset with the cat and the dog, but still that's displaced anger for a reason at a source that they had nothing to do with.
So let us remember that we have to control, redirect, and understand the source. Understand the source. And once we get those in order, once we get those in perspective, then we will be able to move forward as a couple. We thank you for tuning in to this segment of Uniquely One. And remember
To like, to share, and subscribe. Our Gmail address is uniquely1, the number one, at gmail.com.
and thank you for tuning in this today with us. And may God bless you and heaven smile upon you is our prayer.